And welcome to another fun-filled, exciting episode of Otaku Drive Time. I am Jim Gogol. I am joined with...
I'm Sara.
And I know I'm Chris.
Wow, you do exist still.
Yeah, sir not appearing in this episode.
Yeah, actually, you don't really appear in any of the topics of discussion today, do you?
No, sorry, Dad.
Aww.
But Z and I have a great conversation, an introduction to the CBS show Person of Interest.
And Z and Dress Barn, Phil Thomas, and Aki Munnel, and I have a great discussion or heated debate about Amiibos and NFC video gaming. And then, of course, we're gonna wrap this gig up. Sounds like fun, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, wow, we actually don't have a lot to kick off the show. This is not good. We're supposed to have a lot of things to talk about because this is that free open mic time where we can be exciting and new and wow. Yeah, it's like we're all kind of looking at each other with these looks like, what are we supposed to talk about?
Look forward to my column. I'm talking about books over the summer. OTDT.net.
We do have one book that her and I are actually going to talk about at some point.
I'm about halfway through, so...
Do we want to tell them what the book is, or do we want to make them wait?
Please, no!
I say we go. We're going to go after a very unusual book. It was made into a movie.
It's kind of obscure even by that measure at this point.
We're going to talk about who censored Roger Rabbit. It's an interesting book by Gary Wolfe, who, as many of you in podcast you'll know, it was made into a movie called
Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
And it is a unique... I'm not going to spoil anything for the upcoming episode. I'm just going to go...
Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting topic of discussion.
I think that's best.
And go read it if you can find it.
Actually, I bought it off of Amazon and put it on the Kindle app of my phone.
Yeah, well.
Hey, at least it's somewhere. I mean, the author actually had to buy his copy of the book off of eBay.
That seems like a lack of foresight.
What am I supposed to say? I mean, I don't know, not touching that one.
That's okay, Jim. It's not on you. You're just drawn that way.
Oh, God, that is just bad.
Perhaps we should start the show proper.
Yes, with that note, we're going to take a little bit of a break, and then we will kick off with Persons of Interest with Sara and Z. Person of Interest. You know, it's funny, the title card has it correct.
Oh, that's good.
I just can't say it right. So with that, we're going to kick off with Person of Interest, and be right back. And we're back, and right now I'm joined with Sara and Z again.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi, Sara.
Hi.
Okay.
And we are going to be talking about Person of Interest.
This is a show we've been following for a while, and we've been desperate to talk about. And guess what? Recently we've had reason to talk about it, haven't we?
Yeah, Season 4 just wrapped up a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, it broke my heart.
All right, I've only seen episodes here and there, and probably some of our friends out in podcasting doesn't know jack about this show. Tell me what it's about.
See, that's slightly difficult. But the facts right now are that it is a show on CBS, sort of set 20 minutes into the future, where Michael Emerson's character has created a machine.
So I actually started watching this show because of Michael Emerson, because I had seen him on Lost. Mm-hmm. For reference, he played Benjamin Linus. Okay. And at the beginning, it in my mind, it was very much the same character because it was the guy with all the answers. But at some point, the switch flipped, and he was this new character. He was Harold Finch for me. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, so he's this computer genius, builds a machine, is what he calls it, and teaches it how to be artificially intelligent.
Okay, so what's the machine do?
The machine has access to every surveillance feed on the planet, even the ones it didn't necessarily have access to before.
So you're talking cell phone cameras.
Yeah, not even just cameras, microphones, anything that could conceivably be connected to the internet does get jacked into this machine. And it uses its artificial intelligence to predict crimes.
But so it, in the way that Harold Finch programmed it, it's been trained to determine the crimes that are relevant versus the crimes that are irrelevant.
Relevant to national security.
Yeah.
They're trying to stop huge, big attacks like, London bombings, that sort of thing. The government, it should be noted, did commission the machine, and it was created as an AI so that ostensibly no Fourth Amendment rights would be violated. Well, this is about as accurate with law as it is with computer science. The basic idea is just turn your brain off for some of this stuff. But not all of it, because...
But so basically what happens is the government is only paying attention to the quote-unquote relevant events. And what happens is the computer will spit out somebody's social security number. And then they investigate that person, try to prevent whatever it is that's going on.
Question.
Yeah.
They. Besides the main character, who else is you referring to they?
Okay, well, the relevant stuff was handled by the government, obviously. NSA, CIA, that sort of thing. The irrelevant list, the numbers were spat out and only given to Harold at that point. He
Right.
needed some assistance in handling these cases, which would be described in the opening narration as violent crimes involving ordinary people.
Right. That he wanted to make sure that even though the government wasn't paying attention to the quote-unquote irrelevant events, they still needed to be handled somehow.
So, long story short, in regards to they, Harold hired Jim Caviezel's character, John Reese, a former CIA operative. Former black bag operative, actually. And there are a lot of reasons why these two characters are broken in different ways, but they complement each other in certain ways. And as a result, for the first 2 years of the show, they went around. It was fairly standard number of the week. You get a number. You don't know whether or not that social security number is the victim of the crime or the perpetrator.
Sorry, I didn't really
okay.
have anything to add to that.
All right. But in any event, near the end of Season 2, and actually closer to the middle of Season 3, things started to take a change with the rise of a second machine.
I lost my train of thought. But the second machine was trying to be brought online by a separate group, and they called their version Samaritan. Which, if you know, anything about the word Samaritan, it's exactly what it sounds like.
But anyway, long story short on everything up to Season 3, the team machine, which winds up being Harold, John Reese, and then a character named Root, played by Amy Acker, and another character named Shaw, played by Sara Shahi, did everything that they could to stop Samaritan from coming online and usurping the machine's place as the government source for this information.
Because basically what's going to happen is if Samaritan comes online, not only are they going to be targeting the relevant numbers, they're going to... It's going to use its AI to mold society, to change it so that it becomes unnecessary.
Yes, the people who...
So it's kind of like Hydra in Marvel Universe.
To a certain extent. The idea is the people who are running Samaritan are not nearly as benevolent as Harold is. And even Harold had to put a huge number of restrictions on the machine in order to get it running without trying to kill him, which is a point that they stress very, very hard in season, 4? Was it? Anyway, whatever.
Was that the thing with the chess?
The flashback. No, the chess was season 4, but I was talking about the proto machines. Where Harold gives new meaning to hacking. Anyway, long story short, they fail. Samaritan comes online at the end of season 3.
Yep.
This is kind of like Minority Report, where... And what was the one that Ben Affleck was in?
Paycheck.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
I saw
only
that.
without, only replace the mumbo-jumbo pseudoscience with, mumbo-jumbo pseudo-AI pseudoscience.
I'm just trying to give our listeners a little bit of points of reference to go by.
Okay. Well, like we said, the 4th season finale happened at the beginning of May 2015, the first week or so. And
absolutely broke my heart.
there are a lot of changes to the whole setup that basically make it really difficult to see how the showrunners are going to get around this. It's the same kind of cliffhanger that they left us with at the end of season 3, where the status quo has been changed.
When Samaritan came online, the team machine, Harold and John and Root and Shaw, basically had to go underground. So they were taking on aliases and cover jobs and trying to just stay under Samaritan's radar effectively.
Because one of Samaritan's prime directives was find the machine and destroy it. Yeah.
So,
As the main villain says, there's only enough room for one god on the stage.
so I'm going to ask the question.
Okay.
And I know I'm going to ask, and I know it's going to be a spoiler to ask the question. You said it's a game changer at the end of season 4.
Yes.
Why do I have this feeling that the machine gets destroyed?
Are we going to do the... Yeah, you know what?
It's
been a month.
It's
I
been a
think we
month.
can do
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
And anyway, by the way, for anybody who's watching this, the show will arrive on Netflix in September of 2015. At least the first 3 seasons. I think season 4 may be a little bit delayed so as to not cut into the Blu-ray sales. But bottom line is the machine at the end of season 4 winds up sort of on an extremely high-tech flash drive.
Basically what happens is Samaritan demanded to know the location of the machine, and nobody from the team really had that information because the whole point was plausible deniability.
And moreover, when they did try to fly in the machine at the end of season 2, it was not where they left it.
But in order to save the human element of the machine, it agreed to reveal its location. And basically what happened was it had escaped into the greater electrical network of the entire country.
It was using the electric signals as basically Ethernet cords and piggybacking on smaller computational units that it had arranged to be installed on the power grid. So Samaritan decides to smoke it out by basically saying, hey, you know what?
We're going to
This is
shut
a power
everything
grid.
down.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to overload it.
Yep.
And so it started doing rolling blackouts in the final season. And there was a moment of doubt whether or not what they did to save the machine worked. And it is still sort of in doubt.
It's still sort of in doubt because at the end of the final episode of the season, Root looks at Harold and is like, so is she in there? Because Root considers the machine like a mother.
Okay.
and refers to it by female pronouns. And says, so this briefcase with all these high density compressed cards, is she in there? And Harold looks at Root and is like, I think so.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
The thing is, basically, think of it like how the old NES cartridges saved data. It was battery-backed RAM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think it's going to work?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, moving forward, however, what made the finale so kind of stressful for a lot of people was that at the time that it was broadcast, CBS had not yet announced whether or not it was coming back for season 5.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So I knew about that because you had tweeted about that.
Yeah.
And I'm watching the finale, and I'm like, this is an amazing episode, but it would make a terrible conclusion.
It would be...
This show needs to come back.
Kind of like the way The Finder ended.
Or Quantum Leap.
Yes.
Quantum Leap was just sort of a half-ass hack, really.
Yeah.
But anyway, about a week later, one day before the deadline where CBS had to finalize what they were canceling and renewing, they announced that they had renewed it for season 5.
Yay!
But it was only a 13-episode order versus the 22...
Okay, something to say. A lot of shows have been doing 13-episode arcs now.
Well, the issue with how season 4 was done, which is sort of irritating for a lot of us, was that CBS kind of stopped advertising it outside of the Tuesday night slot, really. And more importantly, they did not advertise it nearly as much as they did with seasons 1 and 2, which made guessing whether or not there was going to be a new episode each week kind of frustrating.
Well, it's not... CBS is known... What does CBS broadcast? Crime, police, crime drama, procedurals. This is a crime drama procedural, but what you're saying is the third season it deviated from that, and the fourth season even further?
Well, so they tried to stay on that to an extent because the machine was still sending Harold numbers, but they had to go about resolving it differently.
Well, the other aspect of it, too, is that the show would go on seemingly random 1 or 2 week hiatuses.
Yeah, it's...
So it seemed like CBS was not really giving it as much priority as...
CSI... Blue Bloods.
CSI, let's be honest.
NCIS.
NCIS, you can talk about, but CSI actually got canceled this year.
Did it really?
Really?
Yes, CSI is over, except for CSI Cyber.
The new one.
All right, so...
Anyway.
So what would you guys give this a rating, on our rating scale? How would you guys rate this show?
I'm gonna list this how I listed this to my friend in an email yesterday. If you like dystopian drama, if you like crime drama, if you like Michael Emerson, Jim Caviezel, or Amy Acker, or any combination of those 5 things, definitely take a look at this.
Definitely a 6th gear, you're saying? Okay. Since we can't actually go straight to Bullet Train, I'm going to have to settle for 6th gear as well. I had my doubts about the show early on when it was first being advertised, and the only reason I tuned into the pilot episode was because basically how it was presented to me by the commercials was The Adventures of Jesus Christ and Ben Linus.
See, I didn't have that frame of reference on Jim Caviezel, but I totally agreed with you with the Michael Emerson thing.
But it sold me within about 3 or 4 episodes in season 1. It became an absolute solid lock by the end of season 1, and I am now basically kind of mad at the showrunners for giving us this cliffhanger. This is almost the same kind of cliffhanger that Best of Both Worlds was for the Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty, well, with that, I thank you, Sarah. I thank you, Z, and we gotta take a break now.
All right.
Alrighty.
And welcome back. We are joined now by Aki Munnel. Hi, Aki and Z.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey,
Podcastlandia.
It's been a long time since we've seen you in the Podcastia.
Over a year. Over
Heard
a
you
year.
in Podcastia.
Yes, we can't see her because podcasting is such a visual medium.
Hey, we are on YouTube now, though.
Oh yeah.
Although there's no
Still not
video.
gonna- no.
Oh, thank goodness, because
that's not
no
gonna happen.
video, please. No video.
I didn't do my makeup today. It wouldn't work. Anyway, speaking of makeup,
Oh, and it's Z also,
Yeah.
who's back again.
yes, we've established that. But anyway,
Makeup?
So, makeup. How about we talk about figures that are painted?
Figures that are painted.
Well,
Well, what type of figures are
What
you talking about?
I'm talking about game figures. I'm talking about near-field communication, the video games of the future that aren't, VR or anything like that. But anyway, specifically, there are 3 particular brands we'd like to talk about today. Four, yes.
4. There's a fourth
so
one
we're
now.
going to start with the progenitors of the genre, which would be Activision's Skylanders,
Yay.
and move on to Disney Infinity, then Nintendo's Amiibo platform, and the Lego. What is the?
I forget the name of it.
Yeah, Legos.
The Lego.
That's all you really need to
Yeah.
know is Lego. They're
Lego
doing it
one.
now.
The Lego one has a steep cost of entry.
Yeah.
$100.
Wow. That is pretty steep for an introductory.
Mm-hmm.
But it is Lego. So
Okay, yeah, true.
But still, it's $100 to get into the.
Now, the game industry has started calling this sort of genre, this money pit, if you will, figure to life, which is sort of a pretty good setup for the basic premise behind the game. Basically, you have a figure with a small NFC chip inside it, and you place it on a reader, and it confers
to
something into the game. In the case of Skylanders and Disney Infinity, the character appears. Amiibos sometimes do that. The current base uses for Amiibos right now are in Super Smash Brothers, where they will store character data on a much more complex scale than the standard AI. Lego presumably is you'll be able to build stuff and it will show up, which is I'm curious how they're going to do that.
Well, they already do something similar with an iPad app, Android app, where you build a thing and you take a picture of it and it fills it in, makes it real.
Yeah,
in the
isn't
game.
that like Mindstorms or something? Like
No,
that?
no,
that's different.
Mindstorm is
Okay.
the robotics, the high-end robotic programmable.
Okay.
So,
Just to give a little bit of a background on how big business this is, Amiibos are actually partially responsible for Nintendo being in the black for fiscal year 2015.
Which is kind of impressive.
Yeah. Amiibos, Smash Brothers, and Mario Kart pulled them out of their slump.
and Splatoon is going to help a lot there.
Right. But we'll talk about Splatoon some other time.
So which one do you want to talk about first?
Let's start off then with Disney Infinity, which announced its 3.0 version a few weeks back while we were on hiatus. And of course, continuing the Katamari of properties that Disney has owned, they've added Star Wars into the lineup for 3.0.
But I mean, with Disney Infinity, from the original 2.0 to 3.0, do the figures carry over from each or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Disney Infinity is actually one of the only sets right now that, from my perspective, does things right. Every figure and every chip from the 1.0 version still works in the 2.0, and they should still work in the 3.0.
Skylanders is the same way.
Skylanders is the same way, but at the same time, you don't need to buy a new reader. The technology is standard.
Well,
Okay.
with Skylanders originally, with Skylanders Giants, Skylanders Swap Force, It was the same.
Swap Force was a new portal.
Okay.
Right.
But for the first two, it was the same portal. So
Right.
it was basically Disney Infinity and then Disney Infinity 2.0.
And something to note, this is something I've heard. I have not played Infinity.
Yes.
Something that's important to note, that yes, your figures carry over from one to the next, but they can only be used in toy box mode. You
Right.
can't use them in story mode. They're just there to play with in the open world and when you build stuff. I mean, from my point of view, that's kind of a waste.
Well, a problem that I have with Disney Infinity is the fact that you actually have to buy the discs in order to do even more world building. It doesn't come complete right out of the box.
Right.
That is what I have a
And
problem with.
that's the one thing I like about Skylanders. And when you're talking about buying the new portal, if you go to the stores, like you go to Walmart, Toys R Us, or anything like that, you see the Skylander Giant had just a portal owner's pack, which means it just came with the upgraded figure that you needed to play the new to play the game and
Right.
use
And
your
the new
existing
disc.
portal.
Yeah.
And if you go to any of these stores, you find them in the clearance bin because Mom and Dad bought a new portal and they bought the one with the new portal. And Disney Infinity, the starter set, comes with a new portal. So anytime if you bought 3.0, you're buying a new portal anyways.
And that's where I think that this is sort of the industry being a little bit too greedy for its own good. Because we're seeing the same flood of these portals in the used market that we did with the plastic instruments that basically killed Guitar Hero and put Rock Band into hibernation for so long.
Well, here's what I see about it, and this is the target market for both of the Lego or the Disney Infinity and Skylanders is 5 to 7-year-olds.
Who lose stuff.
Yes.
And break stuff.
And it's also the people buying it are either parents, aunts and uncles, or grandparents. And when they look at this, they're going to look at it and go, "Oh, I can buy the one that has the portal or the one that doesn't."
I'd better get the portal
Portal,
just to be on the
yeah.
safe side in case it breaks.
So it's not not so much a matter of being greedy. It's a matter of
Them knowing who they're buying for.
or
Okay.
who's actually buying, knowing their market of who's buying the game.
right.
Because I can tell you for a fact that the portals are backwards compatible.
Oh, yeah.
For
yeah,
instance-
the portals are backwards compatible. The figures... go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
the portals, like the portal that comes with not Swap Force, but Trap Team. You can use it. It recognizes it in Swap Force.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is actually sort of one of those things that you'd have to be silly not to do that.
Yeah.
But the issue that I really have, though, with that is, and I can understand from your perspective, NFC is sort of a standardized technology by now. It's been used for years in Europe for bank cards, for a lot of these other things, and for other things. The fact that it is being used in video games is sort of a novelty. And when Skylanders originally came out and then Giants came out afterwards and they just added more figures, I thought that was brilliant. I thought that was exactly how they were going to go, and they weren't going to release, another set of portals every year. But then again, it's Activision.
And Disney's doing the same thing. Disney does the exact
Right,
same
but
thing.
it's the same portal. That's the thing, is you don't need it. If you just wanted to, and that's the one thing I will give Disney Infinity is that you are able to buy an upgrade for the software disc. You can buy the disc on digital distribution if you already have a portal.
Digital distribution.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. A game like Disney Infinity, a game like Skylanders, your market really isn't a digital distribution. Your market is grandma and grandpa buying little Johnny a toy.
Okay.
It's-
But the point is let's shift over then to how Amiibos do things.
Actually, I know where you were going with Skylanders.
Okay.
Your comment was that, every version of the game you had to buy new Skylanders, and
The Skylanders are fine. I have no problem buying new figures. The figures are cool. I like the sculpts on the Skylanders, and I want to give props to Toys for Bob and all those guys because You guys have some great character designers out there.
Except for
They're
the people from
fantastic.
Vicarious Vision who did Swap Force.
Okay,
that was...
yeah. Anyway, but go on.
But I was going to say about something interesting to note about Skylanders. They do re-releases of figures in every set.
Okay.
Those re-releases of figures are backwards compatible with the previous games.
Yeah, because it's the same figures, just either a different sculpt or a different paint job.
No, they're completely different characters.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, in the games, if you register them, they actually register as a Series 2, a Series 3.
Or Series 4. And you definitely see it if you go to like Skylanders website. The website that they have for all of the figures and everything, because you can pull up each individual element and see every single figure that is released for that particular element.
So you're saying that in the Trap Team sequence, a character was released that was part of a Giant's set, right?
No. Trap Team, with Trap Team, there are figures that you've never seen before.
Okay.
They've never been released. But they'll work on Swap Force, Giants, and the original.
No, that's not the case.
Yeah,
See,
that's what I was trying to get at when you were
there
saying.
are figures like Shroom Boom is a character.
Oh, okay.
You're talking
That's-
re-release and resculpts then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're different colors, yeah.
For instance,
Okay.
between Giants and the original, there was Cinder. Cinder and the Series 2 characters actually have more powers and abilities than the Series 1. Series 1 could only go up to level 10. Series 2 could go to level 20.
Okay.
Now, you could play it in the other game and only get her up to level 1 or level 10,
Right.
and then bring her back forward and continue forward. They made it useful to buy the new figures.
Okay.
But,
All right.
okay, so Amiibos.
All right. Amiibos, the thing with Amiibos that I think Nintendo has done sort of a neat trick with that is the fact that they sort of built the technology, built the portal into the Wii U and the new 3DS.
Yeah, they used that for the, what was it, the Pokemon Rumble U, I think?
That was an experiment for them. And of course, they did not learn the correct lesson from that experiment. But one way or the other, Nintendo announced that they were going to create an add-on for the original 3DS and 3DS XL and 2DS actually, to basically a portal so that you could use Amiibos with those systems.
Has that actually come to pass yet, or no?
Oh, it hasn't been released, but they have announced that it is happening. It's on the
Any
official
release
Nintendo
list?
site. Yeah, they put a press release out.
Like what? How far in the future are we looking? Because
Before the end of 2015.
okay, because I have a 3DS XL, and I'm trying to stay away from buying the new 3DS because if they're going to release that portal that they have coming out,
Yeah.
why would I want to buy a new 3DS?
Well, you'd want to buy the new 3DS because there are some games that are going to be exclusive to it. But that's a
Son of a
completely
gun.
Yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles is already exclusive.
Shnikes.
Yeah, we'll that's a conversation for yet another day. But the thing with the Amiibos,
You know
is-
what? Let's pause that for just one
Okay,
second. Let's
sure.
take a quick break.
Okay.
And we'll come back and wrap this up and move on to our next topic from there. So
Okay.
we're back from the break, and we were just about to talk about Amiibos.
Nintendo's Amiibos figures are actually character specific. They're not tied to a game. The release series of the Amiibos are definitely batched into game specific. You've got Smash Brothers and Mario as the two series of Amiibos out right now. There's only one figure in the entire Amiibo line that does not work with Smash Brothers, and that is Toad. Go on.
I was going to say, before we had a recording snafu, I had asked the question, okay, I heard that Amiibos can only save game data from one game.
That's correct. You can only have one game's save data on an Amiibo at a time. So if you have level 50 Mario in Smash, and you try to use that Mario with Mario Party 10, which saves some data to the Amiibo. That's not possible. You'll be asked to delete the Smash data. However, not every game that uses Amiibo functionality writes to the figure. A lot of them actually just read from it. Mario Kart 8, which added Amiibo functionality shortly after Smash was released, uses the Amiibos to add new Mii character costumes for writing.
Okay. I had the question about if they're going to end up having the functionality of saving like the Amiibo data to the SD card.
A backup functionality?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking about that, and so far Nintendo has not made any announcements. It may be something that they roll into an update for Amiibo Tap, which was a free app they released for the Wii U about a month and a half ago.
Okay.
Which is basically just, hey, you have Amiibos. Right now they don't do a whole lot, but you can tap these to get a random NES, Super NES retro game of some sort and play a 3-minute demo of it for a little while.
Okay, go ahead, Aki.
No,
Go.
go.
Because
You know
I
what?
know what you're going to say. That's stupid.
Well, that's...
Yeah.
Well, it's... Okay, yeah,
It is stupid, yes.
But I mean, I can see where Nintendo is going with it, because if lo and behold, you've got this Amiibo, you have this data from this game that you're no longer playing, and you're no longer going to use this Amiibo with this game, and you want to use that Amiibo in a completely different game, I can see where they're going with it. It's for those people who like play a game and then just move on.
But, I mean, who's the target audience for Amiibos? Who is the...
That is where things get a little muddled. Because the target audience for Skylanders, like we said in the last segment, is younger children.
And Disney Infinity is
and
the
Disney
same way.
Infinity is younger children. But there's also a very active adult collector market. And I'm looking directly at you, Jim.
And me.
Well, I didn't know that about
yes.
you, actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, okay.
I have a collective personality.
I drug her into Skylanders, actually.
Damn you, Jim. Damn you.
Yeah, you got me into it too, but I got out.
But...
Now I'm mainlining Amiibos. Anyway. But yeah, it is sort of a weird scattershot in terms of how the Amiibos are being focused, whether or not they're going to a grown-up market or a little kid market. I will say this, the figures themselves are standard Nintendium. They are indestructible, and they are hard to even damage on purpose. One of the most difficult modifications I made to any of my Amiibos so far was trying to create a female Pikachu.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know. Jim is looking at me. He's like,
No.
no, you don't make a female Pikachu that way, Jim. The basic idea is Pikachus differ based on their tails.
Yeah.
So females have the heart shape on the tail. It took me a good hour and a half to sand that thing down.
Wow.
For just 2 little notches on the... Yeah. That was...
But...
Yeah.
But no,
Wow.
as I was saying, I'm looking at it from me as a gamer. Mm-hmm. Or I'm not as big a gamer as I used to be, but...
You will be again.
If I were playing with an Amiibo, and this is the problem I have with it. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's mostly I'm spending $15 for little costumes and a little add-on, a 3-minute demo or a 10-minute demo of a video game, and I can save one piece of data to it. And every time I want to use it again in a different game, I got to wipe what I saved. There's no way to back it up. To me, it sounds like it's a collection of frustration, and like you said, it's a scattershot.
Yeah. But
Right now, there are a lot of usability issues with them, and I'm going to be honest, I'm only collecting them because they are figures that, for characters that I actually like Kirby, like Mega Man, like Marth, Peach.
Yeah. But I can kind of see where Nintendo's going with them because of the fact that they could honestly be the collector item for you almost want to call them like a disposable gamer because you play the game once, boom, that's it, you're done, you sell it to somebody else.
Right. And to be honest, the idea of having only one game per figure
Sells more Amiibos.
is actually a little bit of an appeal for me. Because I like...
Less to collect?
Well, no.
No,
Here's
there's
the
more to
interesting-
collect.
I'm getting on... Whoa.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
Okay. The functionality with Smash Brothers right now is you level up your AI character to frustrating point. It goes up to level 50. I can't beat it reliably on level 25. Okay? So at some point I'm going to say, F this to high heaven. I'm going to use this Mario amiibo on something else. Because I don't care about this figure. I don't care about this AI save data anymore because I have moved on from Smash. That is the use case that I would see this one-time only thing. Now, would it be nice to have it backed up? Yes, absolutely.
I'm looking at it from mommy and daddy now have to buy 5 Marios so that he could save in his 5 different games. So he has his backup data for.
Yeah, there are
5
2
different
Mario
games.
sculpts right now.
But you know what you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah,
Obviously,
I
in
get it.
your head. So
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish that Nintendo would have done it a little differently. Mm-hmm. Because, Nintendo, like everything, has been. They come so close to doing something right.
And they just miss.
Because I really wanted to like the Amiibos.
Okay. Well, Nintendo is actually making some modifications to how they're dealing with Amiibos.
Okay.
First off, they are not just figures. They're going to be releasing for the next Animal Crossing set, I guess, rather than figures of each of the little townspeople, cards with NFC chips in them.
Ooh.
Well, it's be slightly easier to take care of, to transport and all that. Same limitations.
Didn't I hear Splatoon is doing plushies?
No. Splatoon is doing their own set, and that's its own thing. And we will talk about Splatoon, really, I promise. But no, it's actually Yoshi's Woolly World is doing knit plush Yoshis with the NFC chip embedded into the butt.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a little stitched patch. It's adorable. It's multiple colors of the Yoshis, which is kind of cute. But it really shows how Nintendo is thinking outside of the box with the technology.
figure.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, and I'll give them credit
I
for it.
applaud that.
And my collector senses are tingling.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna end up getting yourself a Wii U because of that?
No. I would just be collecting for the damn
Okay.
knit plushies.
See, Amiibos are not a system seller. I'm going to come right out and say it. I have been the staunchest defender of the Wii U for the 4 years that I've had it. And I will say, up until the end of 2014, there was no reason to own a Wii U. And I'm going to be completely
I
frank.
remember
Anybody-
having that
yeah.
argument with you.
Yeah, there is no reason, or there was no reason, but Nintendo has hit it, if not, out of the park with the last couple releases and with some of the stuff they have coming up. They've at least hit some triples.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So, with that, I think we should wrap up our talk about the NFC, because we've gone from Skylanders to Disney Infinity, and we started attacking the glorious Amiibos. We'll save the Lego game for some other time, because
When we find out more information
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, check out on our Instagram, or at least my Instagram, which should be linked from Otaku Drive Time. I have some of the Amiibos that I've customized, including that little Pikachu and my blue Kirby.
all right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you.
And we're back, and, well, that music's playing, which means it's time for us to wrap this show up.
Aww.
And Chris, you're still here.
I know. No one told me to leave, so
Well,
I would never tell you to leave.
I might.
that's good.
I might. There's the
Oh, you
door.
didn't.
Oh.
Nah, I'm not that kind of guy. So here's an interesting thought for everyone out in Podcastia. You're probably looking at the show and seeing, this is Otaku Drive Time. There's supposed to be all this Japanese and cultural and stuff like that, and anime and tokusatsu. And I've looked at 2 episodes so far, and where is that stuff?
Amiibo's Japanese.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but the diehard fan is going to look at it and go, there's not a lot of anime or Japanese stuff in Otaku Drive Time. How do you call yourselves otaku?
Trust us, folks.
Well, the problem arises is that what is an American or Western otaku?
Well, okay, so there's that, but I was also thinking on the flip side of the actual word otaku is somebody who is a geek about anything. You could have an anime otaku, you could have a race car otaku, you could have a sports otaku, you could have, the word applies to anything. Just because how we define it in the United States is very specific doesn't mean that it is actually that specific.
Yeah, the Western term for otaku is, if you go to an anime con, I think we've all seen Doctor Who, we've all seen Sherlock, we've seen
Adventure Time.
We've
Ponies.
seen
Ponies.
Homestuck, My Little Pony. Being an otaku is more than just being I'm into anime and toku. It is a broader fandom. It's a broader internet fandom. It's a broader social fandom than being just a Japanese animation fan. I mean, you figure in the past, what have we had in the past? We've had just anime. We had anime cons. And I would have to say that the otaku is more like anymore what the sci-fi geeks would have been called 20, 30 years ago.
Oh man, I'm having flashbacks to that one episode when Chris Beretta made a guest appearance.
Oh, yes. But no, seriously, if you think about it, what are we? We're fans of a lot of things, and we just happen to have started out as anime and toku fans.
So, heaven help me if I actually screwed this up, but if I remember my Japanese language course correctly, one variant of the word otaku means house. So, I'm hoping that you will continue to allow us into your house, but subscribing to our podcast and joining all of the wonderful social media things that we're on. Visit us at otdt.net.
And if you liked our conversation about Person of Interest this time around, keep your ears tuned. We will eventually be revisiting it in more depth at some point.
Yes, it was a good conversation. There's a lot more to cover with it. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to actually getting you on the show again, Chris.
Yeah, well, good luck.
Oh, man. So, with that, let's see. We've also got Tumblr, Otaku Drive Time, Twitter, OTD Tweets.
Yes.
YouTube, Otaku Drive Time, Vimeo, Otaku Drive Time, VK, Otaku Drive Time,
Instagram,
Otaku Drive Time,
Facebook, Otaku Drive Time. Line, send us stickers.
Yes,
Send
Otaku
us all the
Drive Time.
stickers.
We're trying to make a push at this social media stuff. We're not. Chris is the only one here he's the big pusher on that one. Sarah's our Tumblr girl.
Really?
Well,
Let's not get into that.
Okay, when it comes time to Tumblr, you know Tumblr, I don't know Tumblr.
I have no access to our account.
That could be rectified.
You said it right.
Yes, I know. I'm being nice. I'm trying to be a little bit more
Clean.
clean. Yes,
So perhaps we should cut out while we're ahead right now.
Aww. Our opening theme is diffused by Hans Adam. Yes, we're still missing the voiceovers for the in-betweeners. We're sorry. It's taking us a little longer than I hoped, but we're getting there. Bear with us. Or you can frog without us. On that note,
Ribbit.
On that note, I'm Jim Gogol,
I'm Chris.
I'm Sarah.
and this was Otaku Drive Time. Have a great night, morning, afternoon, whatever the hell time it is for you guys.
We love you, Rosalina.